Jason Finn here from the Project Junkie. Today we're going to be restoring this old Mustang Mowett for part 2. Plan is to strip off this old rust and paint and disassemble it, get it ready to restore it to somewhat of its former glory, so stay tuned. Alright guys, might look like we're in a different location. Yesterday things were going my way. The sandblaster kept getting clogged, started raining on me. And then to make it even worse, I was moving this thing inside, bent over, and then tore my pants, so I figured call it a day. Anyways, it's a new day. Let's get started. Finally. Got it off. Alright, next thing I want to do is remove this steering shaft. Hopefully these ones aren't rusted on too. Shouldn't be. There we go. Finally. Move this chain guard here. Alright, next thing I want to tackle is this engine. Remove this guy, then we move to the transmission, the rear axle, get the front 2 tires off as well, and we'll basically have this thing disassembled. Now it's time to remove the engine. Just like magic, it'll lift up. Let's get this transmission off now. Held on by 4 bolts, but I already yanked off 1 to get the clutch assembly off for the engine. Let's yank off those other 3. I got a little ahead of myself. I got to remove this pulley first because it's not going to fit through the diameter of the hole in the frame. So now I got to find the right bit. Bingo. Bam. Alright, time to take this guy off. Here's our transmission. Let's pop this chain off. let's remove this axle. I think these bearings might be a little shot just based off of some observation. Sounds like a lot of play going on in there. Alrighty. Axle is off. Alrighty, I got the hood mounts off. Now it's time to move to these front tires and this front shroud. Then we should be almost to bare frame. Dang, these things are on there. Okay, theoretically, this whole front end should just come off now. Wait a minute. I got these two and these two to move. Theoretically, this won't come off right now. I do not know why, but I just keep repeating like the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack in my head. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a pretty good movie. Okay, now this should come off. Perfect. All right, and just like that, this will be off. Crazy how that works. So I was just taking these two bolts off camera, and I realized that that bolt is the only thing holding this frame onto this channel. So this frame can literally go, I guess, back and forth to where they're not even, I guess, perfectly aligned. So that's something I might do in the future, is change that, and I might actually just do a full weld bead across this thing on both sides, just to make it a little more rigid instead of just having just be a press fit metal all bolted together. So this is really how these come apart. I can just lift these. Right, wow, that's got some gunk on it, but that's how this whole frame's assembled. 3 pieces. All right, I stripped the frame, hit it with some degreaser and then some carb cleaner, tried to clean off a lot of the, there was like a bunch of dirt, oily gunk in here. I think I got most of it to where it won't clog my grinding disc, so let's clamp it down and get a way to clean this thing up. I want to take care of this hood. I said I've been grinding away at a bunch of other parts. This is the last big one, but it's got a few things wrong with it. A good dent here. These mounts, I said they got some pretty crappy welds on it, how I'm looking at some just the wire right there. So, and obviously the insert for the steering shaft. So let's get this cleaned up and then we can move on to something else. Take a little break from grinding. Safety first. Alright, got everything cleaned up. I'm tired of grinding, that's all I've been doing. Let's switch it up to something else. Wearing some gloves, I don't like this stuff getting all over my hands, but I already drained most of the oil. I want to get the rest of it out of the engine right here before we start taking it all apart. That's good enough. Alright, let's get this engine taken apart. And sorry for the background noise, it's a little cold, so I finally got the shop heater on. Set that to the side. Alright, there she be. There we go. And there's my homemade throttle linkage. Some nice welds on it. This is off of a Predator 212 engine. But hey, it works. Up next, I want to take off this blower housing and the shrouds around it just to direct the air. Alright, here's the model, the type, and the code. Forgot what they meant. I looked them up at one point. Because I was just say the 82 right here is the year of the engine. Look at that. Mint condition. We got some crud down in here a little bit. Not too bad though. Like I got a lock washer and a washer. Something tells you that's factory. And another washer. Got this little guy right here. Nothing the 8mm can't handle. Nice and full of cobwebs. Alright, let's get these head bolts out of here. Nope. I'm sure there's some special sequence I'm supposed to go in, but I'm just going across from each bolt. It's always when in doubt. Best method. Righty, moment of truth. Got a little bit of buildup just right here on the valves. But for this burning oil, it doesn't look too bad. So these L-HUD engines definitely last a long time. Let's get the spark plug out of here. Normally people say don't set it heads down. I'm on cardboard, it's not going to damage it. Well, I don't have a spark plug socket that'll fit, but the good old 3/4 will work. Alright, and we got a CJ8 in here. Perfect. Alright, let's get this pulley off. Just held in by 2 locking screws. Someone's gonna tell me I'm gonna be using that puller. Well, shit. Shoot, maybe not. I'll budge for a second. Come on, baby. A little penetrating oil. Never hurt nobody. Alright. Let that work in a bit. Where there's a will, there's a way. Alright, pop this key out. Now back to the top end. Take this guy off of here. I threw some screws on a while ago just because this cap kept flying off and I'd lose all the balls in here that catch it to actually turn over the engine when you pull it. That's what that looks like on the inside. And you got those balls and they'll fall into the center and then catch these little grooves. Dead beetle. Now, typically, they make a specialized tool to get this flywheel nut off because this is the actual nut. I do not have that tool, so we're gonna have to get creative to pop this thing off. Alright, just gonna see if I can break this free with my arm. Oh, man. Sometimes I feel like Superman. Also, to put your minds at ease, I just used these guys to pop this off. Someone else recommended it and it worked pretty good. Now, I actually have a puller for this, but it's not in the shop, it's down at the house, and I don't feel like going down there to grab it, so I'm gonna do this the old way. Jam a screwdriver right here, put pressure on it, strike this guy, and it'll pop off. It should pop off. Alright, round 7. Well, sad news. I've cut the wrong puller. This is for a different Briggs & Stratton engine, and these are way too big to thread into those holes, so... time for plan B, or plan C! Alright, it's time to get serious. You gotta be kidding me. Finally. I guess that goes to show the right tool for the job can save you a lot of time. And I did not have that right tool, so I wasted a lot of time. Let's get this magneto off. After that, we'll take off the breather, and then we'll split the engine. Alrighty, there's that. This breather off right here. Let's see, what's it gonna be? 8 mil. There she went. Come on now. Let's play nice. There we go. Yeah, I gave this one the good old RTV trick because I didn't have a gasket for it. Looks like it worked. Once we're here, let's get these valves out. Another tool I do not have. The valve spring compression tool, which compresses the springs in here. That way you can get them in and out easier. So I just got this top dead center on the compression stroke. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver without marring this lip up. And just pop these guys both out of here. First, I'm going to clean that up. Clean workspace again. Kind of crazy. There's actually some milling holes right here and here. I'm not sure what those were used for, but they just dead end on both of them. All right, I'm going to make this look easy. First one is done. There we go. Got the intake valve. Nice and clean looking. It's a joke, by the way. Spring and retainer. Uh-oh. One down, one to go. There we go. And here's our exhaust valve.
which both valves actually are making contact on the face. Not sure if this will focus or not, but make contact on the face actually in a pretty symmetrical line. So alrighty, there's this guy. Alright, let's get these bolts undone. We can pull off this housing. Look at that, I don't even have to crack these loose. Oh, I spoke too soon. Alrighty, here's the grand reveal. Here's the grand reveal. I got some glitter down in there. Right here. It's actually reddish. Not sure what that would be coming off of there. That's not the best. It's actually pretty gunked up. Ew. So right here I got the governor. This control the engine RPM when you got regular throttle, but mine this does nothing. Alright, pop this guy out of here. Next, this is the actual governor arm that goes to the throttle. Come on, baby. Yeah, this rests on the governor and presses against it, and this will slowly turn while inside the engine. This camshaft's kind of got a smooth surface here, but it's like something's kind of ground against it. But I don't really see... I mean, it's got a little bit of a wear mark right there, but not too bad. Just on the what caused that to kind of grind away. I'll pop this guy out. Well, before I do, I'll just line up these timing marks. So these two dots right here give you your engine timing. That will pop out. Here come your tappets. And these go to your valves. We'll get this all cleaned up and inspected, but those don't look too horrible. More of that roughness might just be from the casting. Alright, so now from here, I want to undo these two nuts right here. They both have locking tabs on them, so I got to pop those off the flathead, and I can undo it and get the connecting rod and piston out. And then pull the crank. It's coming. Slowly but surely. Alright, and I'll pull these guys out. These guys are 1/2 inch. Just want to loosen these up a little bit at a time, evenly. And number 2. Now this is the locking tab. You just tap these guys. Doesn't let those guys come out. Or else that might not be a good day. Yeah. It's got a little bit of wear, but for an engine from 1982, it's way older than me. That doesn't look horrible. Light little tap. Here's the crankshaft, and that actually looks like it's in really good shape. No streaks whatsoever on that guy. Maybe a little slight one right there, but like I said, for what it is, it's definitely not bad. Pull this piston the rest of the way out. Here's that guy. Same story right here. A little bit of streaking, but not too bad. Piston actually looks very nice. Got a little faint few lines here, but nothing deeply engraved. Cylinder. Obviously we saw this thing was burning some oil last time. And I don't think this camera will pick it up, but I got a couple little streaks here. Some on the bottom lip. I can see some of the cross hatching, but not as much as you should. So we'll measure this guy with a telescoping gauge, see what we're at. If it's out of spec, we'll do 10,000 silver and bore it, but no matter what, I plan to rehone this cylinder just to get some cross hatching in there. Other than that though, the engine doesn't look too bad. Alright, this is a 19,000 series engine, and the max bore diameter is going to be 3 inches on the dot for this guy. So I'm going to use a telescoping gauge, and we will see what this measures at. So everything that I'm measuring is still showing that this is within spec, which spec is 3 inches max or 2.990 inches. Yeah, so we're reading right in spec. So just a fresh hone on this guy, and hopefully, and some fresh rings. Hopefully they'll get rid of the oil burning in the engine. Hey guys and girls, if you made it this far through the video, thank you, I really appreciate it. Sorry this one's taking so long to put out. I know it's been like a month since my last post, but I've had school, finals, and work on top of that, so I've just been trying to work on this in the meantime. My next steps for this are I'm hoping to get a rebuild kit for the engine, throw a new piston in there. It looks like I can just use a OEM replacement instead of getting one that's oversized. And I'll just rehone the cylinder a little bit. I plan on prepping the metal more and then throwing some primer on there, getting ready to paint it. My plan is to paint it yellow and white like the original. I like to get a new axle for this as well, just so I can put some bigger tires on there, because let's be honest, without suspension, this is a pretty uncomfortable ride. But that'll be all in part 3. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. If you want to join me for the journey, damn it. Hey guys, if you made it this far through the video, I really appreciate it. Here's a shout out for you guys. Damn it. Actually, with a part 2 on the Mustang Mowett, we're gonna be removing all the rust, the old paint, and getting this thing ready for, damn it. Here, come here. Ball. Yesterday it started raining. I was trying to pull this thing inside. Shit. Hey guys and girls, if you've made it this far through the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. Sorry this one's taking so much, fuck, damn it.
And grinding and getting this thing ready to put together. Hopefully a little bit of fresh paint.
Hey guys, if you've made it through to this, whew. Hey guys and girls, if you made it this far through the here from the Project Junkie. Today we're going to be restoring this old Mustang Mowett for a part 2. Plan is to strip off this old rust and paint,